What's up, everybody? It's your host of the Mentee podcast, Wyatt Graves, and today's guest is a good one. Her name is Jessie Lang, and she is a real estate investor with 75 houses in her portfolio. She is a master at the BRRRR method, and she also wholesales and she also flips. She is a badass entrepreneur, real estate investor. If you're a real estate agent and you're remotely interested in getting started, or you are already a real estate investor and you want to scale your portfolio, then learning from Jessie in this episode is for sure going to light you up. Let's get right to my conversation with Jessie. If you have any questions, reach out to Jessie or myself. We're happy to help you take your real estate investment opportunity to the next level. See you on the other side. All right, so Jessie, welcome to the show, The Mentee. It's a real honor to have you on the show today. I read a little bit about your bio, and for the listeners, this is our first face-to-face Zoom call. We've not had any discovery calls, so what you see today, what you hear today is like the real deal, us figuring out what each other's doing, how we can help each other, what you're up to, and just bouncing ideas off of each other. So I'm excited to have this conversation today.
I am excited to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. So for me and our listeners, tell me a little bit about who you are and what you're doing, and what I know about you from your intro, so that our listeners can learn about you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Jessie Lang, and I am a buy and hold real estate investor in Columbus, Ohio. My story started in Austin, Texas, but that's not really where I grew the portfolio. I relocated around 2016. And those first couple years, we can go deeper into the story, but I was wholesaling, I was doing Airbnb, I was doing all these things. I had some short-term rentals, but it was just really slow going. And then it was just a handful of years ago, January 2021, that I figured out the method that I use to buy now. And since then, we scaled up to 75 rental properties in a very short amount of time. So it's been a wild ride. I have absolutely loved, building this business. And yeah, that's what I do.
That's impressive. So 75 units from 2021 to 2025?
Yes, sir.
Dang. And are those all single family or multifamily, duplexes, quadplexes? What's that makeup?
So about 75% is single family and the rest is small apartments.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you say small apartments, is that like
6 and under?
6 and under.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. And are those in Columbus, Ohio, then with you?
So
next to you where you live?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Where I live, Columbus, Ohio, I will say, I get people I talk to all across the nation and they want to invest here in the Midwest. Maybe it doesn't make sense to invest where they're living. And so, yes, I do live where I invest, but I honestly run my business with a remote investing mindset because I don't personally go to my properties all that often. So yes, I do live here, but I'm not everyday active out in the field.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about. So first off, you're self-managing with the team or you outsource your management?
So self-manage everything in-house. I did outsource some years ago, like a small fraction of the portfolio. And within 10 months, it was under a year, we had pulled everything back in-house. It just was not working out. I was spending just as much time managing the manager. I'm too hands-on with the decision-making. They didn't love me. I didn't love them. So we brought it all back in-house. We got really serious about our systems, processes, and have built it out since then.
Yeah, it's just so common.
Yeah.
It's so common. We are in-house management as well.
It makes such
I can't
a big
imagine.
difference.
Yeah, I can't imagine outsourcing it. I'm too much of a control freak myself.
And I just think that it's not only your asset, but of course, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, you're just turning over to someone else. It's not just the asset, but it's also the relationship with the resident. And we work really hard in keeping a strong relationship because we want people to stay. And so if you don't control that, I found I was just having all this turnover and it was difficult.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, that leads me to a question that I'm really, really in the heart of trying to figure out as we scale our portfolio right now, which is the org chart. So how many people work for you? What's that makeup look like? Give me as much information as you're willing to share.
Yeah, no, I'll break it all down. So I say we, it is me and one full-time employee. And then everyone else is third party, like independent contractors. We have, our roofer, plumber, electrician, all the subs. We have one main handy person and then kind of a backup on call. But really, that's all we need. And a lot of the reason that we are decent, like the maintenance is manageable, is that I buy everything with the BRRRR method, and we do a mid-size to large renovation up front where we're updating all the mechanicals and, new roof, new windows, new HVAC. So we're not getting hit with all these maintenance items. So we can manage everything with a small team.
That's wonderful. So like accounting. And so let's start with one thing. What about software and tech stack?
Yeah.
How are you? I'm sure that you're leveraging that so that you can get by with just one employee plus yourself. Tell me about that.
So tech, every single thing comes through our property management system. We're using Buildium. I started with Tenant Cloud. If you guys are just getting started, Tenant Cloud's fantastic. It had, majority of the features I needed up until about 60 or so units. And every single thing comes through it, from rental payments, maintenance requests, their communication platform. People don't call us. They don't, our residents don't call or text us. It all comes through the platform, and that is very intentional.
Nice. We use Buildium. I think that we are going to be upgrading or transitioning to one site, which is a little bit bigger, more robust platform. But Buildium has taught us and done us well we've learned a lot is what I mean to say with Buildium, and it's done well for us. But I think as we scale our portfolio, we're outgrowing some of the functionality of Buildium. So all accounts payable, all accounts receivable, your maintenance tickets, all that's being ran through Buildium right now?
So all of our maintenance, rent collection, all communication, all of our bookkeeping is in QuickBooks. It's, we got into QuickBooks when I first started years and years ago, and it just stuck. It's what our CPA knows. It's industry standard.
Sure.
And so, yeah, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. That's the one feature in Buildium we don't really use.
Gotcha. And so between you and the full-time employee, how are y'all segregating your work? What does the employee do versus what you do?
So I am still, and this is something I, probably need to step away from a little bit, but I'm still in all the group chats. So I can chime in with any decision, but she's full implementation. So she will make the things happen. She's doing all of our administrative stuff. She does our QuickBooks. She kind of makes the things happen, but I'm making most of the decisions.
Gotcha. So she's like an assistant to you.
Yeah. Yes. And I will say she's kind of newer, and we're 6 months. So she's at the point where we're really starting to hand off more responsibilities. And at that point, I am taking myself out of certain tasks. And then she's the decision maker on it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So let's talk about acquisitions and how you got here.
Yes.
I assume that you're in charge of acquisitions?
I am. Yes.
So tell me, top of funnel to buying a unit, what's that process look like?
So everything from general marketing, which we actually just started doing our own. Well, let me back up. When I went full-time real estate, it was August 2018. And I had 3 rental properties prior to that I kind of bought house hacking. And I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know that this was scalable. I was like, cool, I have 3 rentals, right? So when I started in August 2018, I was wholesaling everything. I was doing all my own marketing. I have pictures at the kitchen table, my wife and I handwriting all these letters. And I mean, we just were like, I was committed. I was going to do it. And so those first 2 years, I was doing all my own marketing. I was wholesaling everything because I really didn't know how my buyers were keeping these rentals and how they were using hard money, private money. I didn't understand that part. So I was wholesaling everything. So by the time I did figure out hard and private money, that was that kind of January 2021 period. And I had a really good deal flow. I had deals coming in. So instead of wholesaling everything, I started keeping everything. Up until that point, we had about 11 doors that I had kind of acquired the slow 20% down. It was like very painful to get there, to buying 22 more doors that same year. And so once I figured out the financing, it was off to the races. Now, I will say those 4 years that I was wholesaling everything, we were buying a lot. And then interest rates went up 2022, buyers dried up. I don't want to say losing money, but the juice just wasn't worth the squeeze to do our own marketing. I was finding deals from other wholesalers, from MLS. And so I actually shut down the kind of marketing side of the business. We just reopened that a couple months ago.
Wow. Okay. So you did take marketing, you started in-house, then you outsourced it, or you just shut it down?
I shut down what I was doing, and I started exclusively buying on the MLS and from wholesalers.
Okay. And now you're starting that back up again.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. And let me give you a little context. So production-based building, real estate brokerage, representing builders. That's been my history. And then when the shift happened right outside of COVID, right, it sounds like about the same time that you started to shut the marketing down, we bought a HomeVestors franchise.
Okay.
And we did that so that we could adjust our sales price quickly, because we already had dirt and lots at a certain price point, which meant that our houses were at a certain price point. And when the market changed, that price point was hard to sell. So to keep our inventory moving, we had to go find cheaper houses that we could put on the market. And so HomeVestors for us was that route. Very expensive marketing. Very expensive marketing. And so we have questioned whether or not we should take our marketing in-house. And it seems like such a heavy lift.
It is.
That we stay away from it. So tell me about your decision to open it back up and to do it yourself. What is it going to look like? How many envelopes? What list? How many people are you targeting? Just help me there.
So maybe I should clarify. I have it in-house in the sense that we're taking the calls, but I'm not actually sending the mailers, or, we have a marketing company that's helping with that. But in-house, we're doing all the negotiation, making the offers, doing the walkthroughs. So
you're basically going to be the wholesaler again, but pick the ones that you want to keep instead of buying from other wholesalers.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're outsourcing the actual lead generation then.
Correct.
And is that a one-stop shop?
It's a one-stop shop. It's a one-stop shop. The handoff is someone calls me and they've done their job, a lead's acquired, and we take it from there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. And so is that a pay per lead kind of expense?
I have dabbled in pay per lead, and I've actually had a positive ROI. I would say nothing like earth shattering. Done some pay per lead recently. And they're doing our direct mail and some PPC stuff. And it's just a flat rate, and they handle the marketing.
Got it. Okay. And so are you personally answering the phone? You have a salesperson, you have a virtual assistant. How's that work?
Why? I'm so good at it. I wish that there was someone, but I don't know. I hope a seller never sees this, but I can sweet talk any seller, man, woman, old, young, like they all love me. And I build really good rapport. So it's something that I'm good at, and it is very, they say stay close to the money. And so it's good for me. And
yeah,
so I
understand.
Still do it.
So you're taking the call, you're going on the appointments, you're walking the houses, and you're making the offers.
Correct. Yes.
Got it. Yeah. And are you pretty much making like instant cash offers? That's your sweet spot. Like that's your value proposition.
Yep. So we're actually making the offer on the second phone call, but within, 20 minutes, we'll hang up after the kind of discovery call, do some research, call them right back with an offer. That's really the value. And if the number makes sense, then we go on an appointment. I don't actually go on the appointments myself. I did for years. And I look back and I was in some situations like I have too much writing. I can't be in houses with all sorts of people, So we send an inspector who does all the photo set and does all that. We send an inspector.
So that's key insight that I want to dig into for a second. So the lead comes in, you have a phone call, you take all the tactical information. Tell me about the house, the address, the condition,
Your
this, that, and the other. Tell me about your motivation. And then what do you tell them that gets them off the phone to set you up for the next call 20 minutes later?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just incredibly truthful. I say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, thank you for sharing all this. I'm going to go away for half an hour. I'm going to do all of my research. I'm going to come back to you with the absolute best offer I can make. I'm not one to do negotiation. That's not why we're here. I'm going to make you the best offer I can. If it doesn't work for you, no harm, no foul. You can always contact me in the future. And if you would love to work together, I can get everything written up, sent to the title company, and we'll schedule your inspection.
Wow. Okay.
It's so simple.
And then you call them back before you go look at the house. You make them an offer.
Correct. Based on everything they've told me.
Yep. And send them a digital contract.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And so when you're calculating your formulas, right? Like over at HomeVestors, there's one formula. At the local real estate meetups, there's another formula. And then once you're in the business, you understand that everybody's kind of got their own formula. In general, what are you striving for in terms of formulas, like ARV, a percentage of ARV minus repairs, or how's that work?
So if I plan to keep it, I'm old school traditional. This formula has not done me wrong, and I stick to it. I'm 75% minus repairs. And the reason is my lender on the backside on the refinance, if you're familiar with the BRRRR method, they're going to give me 75% of that appraised value. And so I want to be all in at that number. So I'll underwrite 75% minus repairs, minus any like finance cost.
Got it. And on your financing, are you doing DSCR loans on the backside, or because I mean, with your numbers, you're tapped out on?
Yeah. So we ran out of conventional loans a long time ago. They were good, but honestly, DSCR is pretty competitive, and they take 3 weeks versus 3 months. And some of my personal experience, are the terms quite as good? No, but we're talking less than a point in most situations. And if I can get in and get out, it's a no-brainer for me.
And so are you using private money to buy the house from the seller? And then is the private money lender also lending you on the repairs?
So it depends if we're using, I am hard money and private money. Majority are, if you're using private money, I'm getting 100% of the purchase and the rehab covered. I am actually collecting the rehab funds at the time of closing on the purchase. So we put those in a separate account. They only go to our contractor doing the work, all that. And then if I'm using hard money, they're still going to fund 100% of the rehab cost, but they're going to release it on a draw schedule. So we don't actually receive that until that work is complete.
Yep, that makes sense. Hey guys, if you've been a listener of my show for any length of time, you know that I attribute a lot of my growth to learning from the guys inside of GoBundance. If you think that GoBundance is a tribe that you might be interested in joining, then reach out to me. Go to WyattGraves.com, connect with me. I'll reach out personally with you and answer any questions about GoBundance to see if it's the right fit for you. That's pretty impressive. So let's fast forward 3 years from now. What's your goal? Or you have a goal already outlined for either 3 years, 5 years? Like, how big are you building this portfolio?
So that's a good question. And I go back and forth. One day it's like to the moon, and the next day it's like, I want to live a very balanced life. And so the older I get, and I know that sounds silly because I'm not that old, but the older I get, the more I am valuing my personal time and, like you say, the good life. And the more I'm really valuing like balance. And so I'm aiming for like around 100 doors. I'd like in the next 3 years, probably won't have any paid off. I'd like to have half paid off in the next 10 years. It's kind of the goal. And then we're really sitting pretty.
Yeah, for sure. So that brings me to a question that a lot of people don't even think about asking, which is cash flow on these things in the beginning, right? So for a lot of people, rental property acquisition and even BRRRRs is kind of slow money. So you got 75 doors now, right?
So 70, 75.
70 to 75. Do you have numbers that show or that you can quote in terms of like positive cash flow per door? Do you aim for $50, $250, somewhere in between?
So I will say the deals I bought prior to the interest rate hikes look very different than the deals I've purchased in the last 2 years. We were underwriting at 300 a door and getting that pretty easily. We are now underwriting at 150, and sometimes it doesn't even get that, and we'll still buy it. I have a lot of properties that are like in the immediate vicinity of the portfolio. And so if something's $75 a month and it's right around the corner from 4 other properties, like I'm still going to buy it. And so we aim for 150. Doesn't always happen. Is cash flow sexy? Absolutely not. Between renovations, between, any maintenance. And of course we plan for this in underwriting, but people are people and stuff is going to come up. I have one full-time employee. We cash flow, I don't know. It's obviously fluctuates based on who pays rent that month. But yeah, between $5,000 and $7,000 a month, like it's not super sexy. And if you want to manage 75 rental properties, you're doing it for the long-term wealth building. You are not doing it for the cash flow. I will just be so honest. I think that's
pretty important to specify, right? But the reason that it's important is kind of twofold. One, so that people don't come into this business thinking that they're going to make a bunch of money on the front side. But secondly, if we play the tape forward and we get 10, 15 years out and we've really had a principal reduction to our mortgages, appreciation has taken hold, we've hedged against inflation, then we've got a pretty fat retirement that to match that same kind of retirement with a 401k or retirement plan is almost impossible at the rates that most people earn with their job. The cost of leaving such little amounts of money to then put into the 401k or the retirement plan, I mean, you'd have to put so much more than what you're probably putting into those retirement accounts in order to have the same retirement that you could have if you build it with real estate. Yeah. It's pretty profound.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I tell people is just because you are buying passive, we all know
semi-passive.
Yeah, semi-passive. Even though you're looking at passive income in real estate, you can have active income in real estate as well. So we flip, I wholesale. I have a coaching program that is real estate related. So I have plenty of active income where I'm not trying to live off my rentals. If you're trying to live off your rentals, you're going to struggle. You're going to be eating beans and rice. And, maybe someone out there is like, my market gets $500. Like, congrats. That's not the nation.
That's right.
Yeah, that's amazing. Go 50 of them and never work again. But that's not really reality. But what is reality is you buy as much as you can now. You sit on it for 15, 20, 30 years. Let someone else pay down your mortgage. You are not the one paying down this principal every single month. Your resident is. And so let someone else pay that balance down for you over time while you still have your high paying W-2, or you are more active in real estate, you're more on the active side.
That's right. And for us and our brokerage, right, we're very real estate investor friendly brokerage. We're also a mastermind brokerage. So we actually have, which I'm sharing this with you for inspiration and to reiterate this for our listeners. So we charge a $6,000 a year fee for our mastermind. And every dollar that you pay for our mastermind, if you're a real estate agent, goes towards your cap at the brokerage.
Awesome.
And the cap at the brokerage is $6,000.
Oh, isn't that convenient?
And so if you join the mastermind so that you can learn, be inspired, right, have investment into your mindset, then you actually get a brokerage for free. Cool. And year 2 is $4,000. Year 3 is $2,000. So once you're here for 3 years, you're only paying $2,000 to be connected with really driven, hungry, entrepreneurial real estate investors. And that's the only amount that you're going to pay to the brokerage as well. Wow. Right. And so we're teaching these fundamentals so that you can use your real estate license to help other people buy and sell real estate. That's your active cash flow. And then you learn the art and the science of real estate investing so that you can build your retirement. It's pretty cool if you ask me.
Yeah, I love it. I have not heard that structure before, but very creative.
Tell me about your educational community. Tell me what's the name of it, how can we find out more about it, and what we do inside of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the program is called Rentals Made Easy. I actually have a book that it's on Amazon that outlines the entire method. It's, my story, and then it's not just fluff. It's literally every single step of exactly how I have built this portfolio and like tangible tactical items. So that's the book version. The mastermind is a 6-month program that is designed to help you get to the point where you're buying 1 to 3 rentals per month. It's actually a scalable business. This isn't, just 1, 2 a month. You're actually like building a portfolio. We have weekly coaching calls, 3 times a week. We provide you all the resources on how to build your business. We have videos, we have, resource vault. It's very comprehensive and it's very tight knit. We actually have right now about 125 students. So it's not some big pace morby, impersonal thing. I'm your coach. I show up 3 times a week and we do real estate together.
Very nice. Yeah. Very nice. And tell me the specific website. Is it rentalsmadeeasy.com? So
Unlocked Rentals, that's kind of the parent company, is Unlocked.
Got it.
Yep. Unlockedrentals.com. We have a Facebook group as well that I'm sure we can share in the show notes.
Awesome. That's really incredible. So we've covered acquisitions. We've covered property management. You have a BRRRR lender that you go to. Is that a national company, a local DSCR lender? Who are you using for that?
So we go to a couple that we do give some referrals for our student community. The main one I use is national. I think there's like 4 or 5 states they don't cover, but it's a national lender.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then you're actively wholesaling and still flipping.
Correct. Yes.
And are you the contractor on the flips? Like you're running the contractors?
No one wants that. No. We have a GC. I've worked on with them my past like 45, 50 projects, and they have been fantastic. Every GC is going to have something that, they're projects, right? And there's a lot going on, but they're fast. And the really best thing about this company is they will bankroll your entire rehab until one draw at the very end when they're 100% done. So you don't pay a penny until it's
That's your GC that's doing that.
My GC, yeah.
Wow, that's pretty incredible.
And they do about 600 houses a year.
Dang.
Yeah.
And are they just local to Ohio?
They're in central Ohio, like an hour surrounding Columbus.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you still get your DSCR loan. No, you still get your construction loan from either private money or hard money.
Right.
So you have that money available when they send you the bill. You just write the check out of that construction funding account to cover that and you're done. Or
if it is hard money and it's on a draw system, I'm not having a draw every 3 weeks or, in order to pay my contractor. We have one draw at the very end. It just makes it super simple.
Got it. So we've covered acquisitions. Oh, on the flips, what's a general rule of thumb that you look for in terms of let's just call it gross profit? Like you sell it, pay realtor, pay closing costs, pay banking, pay the cost of acquisition, pay the rehab fee. What are we looking for? Is it a certain percentage or a fixed amount?
So it's that when you ask about the formula that I use, because most of what we're buying is rentals, that's kind of what I shared, but it is slightly different on rehabs. We're underwriting at 35, 40K, kind of depending on the neighborhood. If it's super easy, carpet and paint in and out, we'll underwrite at 20K. And I don't do a lot of full guts, but I accidentally have, because you buy something thinking it's one thing and then it turns into something else. So I don't aim for a full gut, but if it is, we're underwriting closer to 50 just because of the level of risk, opening up walls, permitting process, everything takes longer. But my kind of bread and butter, we're selling ARV around 250 here in Columbus, and I want to make 30 to 40K on that.
How's your deal flow right now with the flips and all that? Are you a predominant buyer, and so wholesalers are coming to you? Has it gotten harder? Is it getting easier?
I do. I mean, I'm through my coaching program and just through social media. If you guys are thinking about becoming a real estate investor, or like you're like, hey, how do I get my business out there? I did something in 2023. I called it my Coffee Chat Challenge. And I met one person, a new real estate connection, every single week for 52 weeks. We took a selfie together. I made a little reel. I met so many incredible resources that are like deal sources. And it all came through social media. I was putting myself out there saying, hey, it's not just like who wants to get a coffee. That people read right past that. It's like, hey, I'm doing this challenge. Help me with this challenge. So I met tons of other wholesalers, and yeah, my name really kind of got out there. And so that has been just who I know. Deals come. Yeah.
So your deal flow is pretty solid right now?
I mean, it's solid. I will say I get sent a lot of deals. Most of them are not deals.
How many deals are you taking down? Like in the last 3 months, let's just call it May, June, July. How many deals have you taken down?
So we're pretty consistent at the 1 to 3 a month. Like I'm telling you, it's me and one other person, and we're not like my office is in my basement. I work from home. Like I don't have a big office. I don't want a big office, anything like that. And so we're 1 to 3 a month consistently. Specifically these last 3 months, if I was counting, is like, we're about to wholesale one. If I count that as like 5 deals.
Wow. Nice.
I mean, it's not crazy. It's really not, but it's
consistent. Yeah, it's consistent though. And I think that's what we've struggled with when we first started was, we'd have a month where we'd have a really big month, and then we'd go a month or two without nothing.
Yeah.
And so it just caused some heartburn on predictions, right? And predictability of what our numbers could be so that we could ramp up with staff, ramp up with systems and things like that. So kudos to you for the consistency.
Well, thanks.
Jessie, is there a question that I haven't answered or asked, I should say, that you think people need to know if they're considering whether it's joining a mastermind community, an educational community, or in general, getting into the flip business if they're a real estate agent, wholesaler starting from scratch? Where do they start? What have we not talked about?
Yeah. So one thing I always get asked is a piece of advice, and it does kind of fall into what you just said. And we talked about this briefly before we started, is you are the culmination of the 5 people that you spend your most time with. And I believe that absolutely, hands down. I started getting in rooms with different people that completely changed my career, myself, what I believe is possible. So my advice would be go out and get in those rooms, whether it's in a paid mentorship. There's so many options out there. I know mine's great. I'm sure yours is fantastic as well. You've had, great success. And so whether it's something paid, or it's even your local real estate association, or, even finding some accountability partners who, maybe someone has a couple deals under your belt and y'all just want to stay accountable. Get around those people. It will change everything.
I love it. I couldn't agree more, right? You become the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Figure out who you want to become, and then go find those people and get into a room with them. Well, this has been great, Jessie. I'm in South Louisiana. If I can do anything for you, keep me posted, right? I'll send you my cell phone number. Hit me up. And if you want a connection to the Women's Go Abundance, happy to make that introduction as well. Cool. They've got some incredible women over there doing some pretty big things. And hopefully our paths will cross again in the future.
I appreciate it. Yeah, this was a great conversation.
Awesome. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Hey guys, Wyatt Graves here. As you know from previous episodes of this show, I'm on a mission to grow a business that has 25,000 doors, a holding company of service-based businesses surrounded by a protective moat of a personal growth and development educational company. With that being said, I am looking for deals, I'm looking for talent, and I'm looking for capital. If you're interested in connecting with me, go to my website, wyattgraves.com. Send us a deal. I will be sure to include you in some way, shape, or form. Whether you're a real estate agent and you want to be my agent, you're welcome to be my agent if you bring the deal to me. If you're not my agent and you bring the deal to me, we will still get you paid somehow, some way. If you want to work inside of our world, then drop me a line, send me an email, connect with me. We're interested in attracting level 5 talent. And then finally, if you are an investor and want to invest your money, not only to get double-digit returns, but also to have real impact inside of the communities as we raise up the level of good life living throughout our properties with our residents, with our employees, with our communities, then I want to connect with you. Go to wyattgraves.com and fill out the contact information, and I will personally be in touch with you so that we can figure out how we can shake the trees together and win together. wyattgraves.com.